Overcoming job challenges, succeeding at work, and strategies for success. Those are some of the topics addressed in the book, The Black Quarterback Syndrome. Here to tell us more about the book's author and an organizational expert, Dr. Norm Davis. Thanks for being with us today.
Chris, thank you very much for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about the book.
All right. First, I want to make it clear that my book is not about being a quarterback, nor is it about being black, okay?
Okay.
And obviously, it is a metaphor, however, and I use that simply to point out to people that anyone can find themselves being in what I call the black quarterback syndrome. And the way you do this is simply to be one of the first or second or thirds in your particular position or in the company. For example, you might be the first woman to make it into the law department of a company that has 50 male lawyers, and they've had them for many years, and they've always been men. And when you enter as the first woman, you're going to feel some extra pressure. So my book is about how to succeed if you find yourself in such circumstances. You also might be the first person with a disability to be in a wheelchair to do the weather on television. Can you imagine that? But one of the key points here is anytime you don't look like the prototype, that is the originals, the people that have always held that position, it may be that people look at you with doubt because they've never seen anyone like you in a position like that. My nephew was on that airplane that went down in the Hudson River.
Wow.
Okay, and thankfully he survived as well as all the other passengers. But that guy, that pilot, Sully, he looked perfect he looked like a prototype, didn't he? Tall. Pilots look tall. Most of them have been white, a little gray in the temples there, right? Mm-hmm. And they have a wonderful deep voice. Hi, this is Captain Sully. We'll be banking over the Empire State Building in just a moment. So those are the points. It is not about being black. It's not about being a quarterback.
Now tell us some of your advice for people who might not be the prototype of a certain role or position. I know it's probably addressed in your book. Just give our viewers a little taste of what they can expect.
Love to. One of the first things I ask people to do is to consider having a 90-day winning plan. That simply means that the organization has asked you to have a business plan, but then have your own personal / business plan. There may be specific things that you need to work on. There may be a subordinate that you would like to move out of that position or simply improve their performance. By the way, I call it a winning plan because it underscores the fact that when you are in these corporation positions, you are in a competition with all the other people that are there. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with recognizing that. It doesn't mean that they're your enemies, but it means that you need to outperform them, which, by the way, underscores the importance of competency. You must be extremely competent. In mm-hmm. fact, you probably should be 2-3 times better than everyone else in the position. Another tip is that make sure that you understand what the expectations are for your position. A lot of us don't press our bosses to be sure that we know exactly what they want. Okay? So those are the kinds of things I think are essential. Oh, another tip is that if you really want to make your boss happy, find out what their pressures are. Find out what their stressors are, and then help relieve your boss of those pressures or their stressors. They'll never want you to leave. In fact, that could be a problem because you want certainly to move on at some point in time yourself to other positions and opportunities.
I am so fascinated. Thank you for being with us today and sharing some of this information. I really appreciate it.
Well, it's my privilege, and your listeners can, in fact, go onto my website and offer their own ideas by simply going to drnormdavis.com, drnormdavis.com.
Wonderful.
And they can also buy the book there, too.
Thank you for being with us today. We
Claire,
appreciate
thank you.
it.
Thank you very much.
You can find more about Dr. Norm Davis and how to get a copy of his book, The Black Quarterback Syndrome, online at his website, drnormdavis.com, drnormdavis.com.